Now, as some of you know, I wake up in the mornings to film my videos. So I did the same thing today because I was getting ready to film, and I was scrolling on Twitter, and that's where I came across a bunch of tweets saying that Mamamoo culture appropriated on their AOA cover on Queendom for good luck because, you know, HWASA chose to wear that DURAG. I shouldn't say chose, because we don't know if she chose to wear it, but she did wear a DURAG, or a scarf. Now I think the first thing that we need to do is actually look up the definition for cultural appropriation so that we're all on the same page. Cultural appropriation, at times also phrased cultural misappropriation, is the adaptation of elements of one culture by members of another culture. This can be controversial when members of a dominant culture appropriate from disadvantaged minority cultures. Now we know the history in South Korea and Asia, really, all over the world when it comes to people's views of black people. But since we're talking about K-pop idols in South Korea, let's stick there. Now hip-hop and rap are a major part of the K-pop industry. Each group, even some soloists, base their entire career on members being the sole rapper or the main rapper of the group. Some have Lolita concepts, some have hip-hop concepts. K-pop is just a very complex industry that has many influences from all over the world. Now on Queendom, Mamamoo used a hip-hop. Yeah, it was a hip-hop concept, but it was only for the rap line, aka Moonbyul and Solar. They are the rappers of Mamamoo. Solar and Wheein had more of a sexy concept for the performance. Now, to me, and I'm not the spokesperson for all black people, you're entitled to your opinion and you're allowed to feel however you want. But to me, the DURAG represents an aspect of our culture that we wear it for a hair for a specific purpose. Just like I wear my hair in braids for a specific purpose to protect my natural hair, the DURAG is meant to keep the waves silky, looking fresh and smooth on black men and anyone else that has a buzz cut. So let's talk about the DURAG, not just for the hair care, but in the concept of hip hop and rap culture, which can also be said still to be black culture because black people were a major influence and creator in hip-hop culture. I'm just gonna blatantly say that because I don't see how you can argue against it. If you can, comment down below, let me know. But anyways, now the DURAG, whenever it comes to hip-hop and rap, it's another staple, just how chains and grills are. When you think hip-hop, it's an item that makes an artist hip-hop. Now back to the comments, some were saying that now HWASA once again appropriated black culture. Mamamoo is racist considering their history with blackface and all that stuff. I mentioned the blackface incident because I feel like some people are still using that as a reference to hold a grudge and label Mamamoo as cultural appropriators and racists. Now if I go to China and I'm attending a Chinese festival and I put on a Chinese traditional outfit, would that be considered cultural appropriation, or am I embracing the culture by attending an event and paying respects to the traditional outfit? I mean, this is just my view. I wouldn't even compare a Chinese traditional outfit to a DURAG because though a DURAG is significant to us, it really does not hold that much significance. Like if you really think about it, like I wouldn't compare a DURAG to a dashiki. And for those of you who don't know what a do I have one in my closet? Let me go see. Oh, I am just making a mess. Oh my. So I couldn't find my dashiki, but basically I'll put a picture up. A dashiki is a traditional African outfit. Some groups from Africa wear it to distinguish themselves from other groups, or it can be also worn as a traditional outfit. Personally, I would not hold a DURAG in the same caliber as a dashiki or Chinese or any other traditional outfit, because African culture, to me, or any other ethnic or racial culture is more, what's the word? More prevalent than just hip-hop culture. Now, I'm not saying hip-hop culture doesn't matter, and therefore what HWASA did is excusable, but I just wouldn't be as mad as some of you are about it. Now, the blackface thing, yes, that is bad. Yes, whenever I did hear about that, I was very put off from Mamamoo. I can admit that. I was second guessing standing them. Then someone told me, do you know the history of everyone around the world? Do you understand the culture and aspects of every country, every ethnic group, every race around the world? And I was like, no, obviously not. How the heck could I? I'm American. I learn American history. I don't really learn freaking Australian or Korean history. How could I know what their situation is over there? And they were like, okay, so how can you be mad at Mamamoo for doing a blackface when they didn't really understand what they were doing? They thought they were just like impersonating Bruno Mars. And I was like, okay, but at the end of the day, they still did blackface. Like, blackface is a big deal. And they were like, yes, I understand that, but you still can't hold a huge grudge. I can't talk. You still can't hold a huge grudge against them because they did not know what they were doing. And I was like, okay, that's true. And so I realized the next step wouldn't be to just like be mad at them forever, but to like try to explain where the error and problem is, because they didn't understand what they were doing. And so thankfully that's what Mamamoo stands did. They told them where the issue was, and they never did it again, to my knowledge. Now, as for the DURAG, back to the DURAG, HWASA wearing the headscarf or DURAG on Queendom. I just think K-pop stans and people who nitpick Mamamoo about really a lot of the things that they do don't genuinely care about black people. I think they use it as another excuse to hate on Mamamoo. They just want to tear down HWASA, as many of the K-nuts do already online, and this is an easy way to do it. As a black person, I excuse any other black person who genuinely feels offended by this or any kind of way. Just personally, in my view, I really do not think K-pop stans, whenever they target Mamamoo for racial things, don't actually care about the race that they say Mamamoo targeted. They just want to tear down Mamamoo. And it's been seen many times with K-poppies, they just really, if it's not their group that they stan, then they're the enemy. And Mamamoo is really the enemy of a lot of people. So, I mean, I'm not surprised that people had something to say about this, because they always have something to say. Really, the point of this video was just to remind people that not everyone around the world knows that some things have meaning. One more thing I want to add. And I know some people are going to get mad at me for saying this, but I mean, we have idols that walk around. Let me not even start there. Cultural appropriation to me is like whenever a company hires, let's just stick with black culture. Let's say a company hires a white girl and tells her to do her hair in box braids because they want to have a campaign that's more urban and trendy and cool. So the black girl then goes to a black salon, or the white girl goes to a black salon or hires someone and does her hair in box braids. Instead of the company or whatever, the ad just running their ad with a black individual, they went out of their way to choose someone who obviously does not fit whatever brand they're trying to go for. Thus, the individual who is not black fitting the campaign benefits off the culture of black people. That's what I think cultural appropriation is. Whenever someone outside of that culture uses the culture to their own benefit, thus impacting and limiting the resources that the person in that culture could have been able to use. That's cultural appropriation to me, because someone is actually from the culture is being demonized and just not given the rights and credit that they deserve for their own culture. Now, we've seen this done in K-pop, where idols will wear, oppas have their hair in dreads. Sometimes it's not even for a hip-hop concept, they just have their hair that style because they think it's cool. Or the they'll have their hair in box braids, and I'm not gonna call anyone out because I don't feel like getting attacked right now. You know, they just do their hair in styles that are black. Now, realistically, I wouldn't find an issue with that because though box braids are something bigger to me, they're not just a hairstyle. To some people, they just might like the hairstyle. I don't know. But the problem then comes when someone walks into a room who's not black with box braids, and then everyone's like, wow, that hair is so cool, how would you do it, I love it, blah blah blah. And then I walk in with box braids and I'm told that I'm ghetto and I need to get my hair done. You see how there's a contrast? One side it's cool and it's trendy, and the other side it's ratchet and ghetto. That's where you start to teeter the line between using someone else's culture to your own benefit and thus the person in the culture being victimized. That's my problem with cultural appropriation. Now, do I think HWASA wearing a do-rag makes anyone else in our culture who wears do-rags like unable to do so? Heck no. That's why I also think this is just another scapegoat for K-poppies to hate on Mamamoo. That's really all I have to say on the topic. I hope I made sense. If you disagree with anything I said, comment down below, let me know. Road to 10,000 subscribers. Bye.